You know right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in entertainment, media, sports, entrepreneurship, and so much more. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese. And Joe, our guest today, he's setting a record because we've had on multi-time guests, but we never had a multi-time guest on within a 6-month period. So this is awesome. And let's say it together here, Joe.
The challenge
is
champ. Oh,
the champ is
champ
here.
is here.
You botched it. You botched it in like the wrestling, but the champ is here. So
I can come back in. I can come back in.
Let everybody know who's here with us here today, Joe.
Champ is here. Champ is here. You're right. For the first time, we have somebody coming back on the show within an incredibly short window. The first time that he was on, we kind of inquired about it a little bit, about his future. Now that he was back in and he was on TV again, whether he would do it or not. Sure as hell, he did it. The Challenge All-Stars Rivals, we have a winner, and we're very happy to have him back on. We welcome back Adam Larson to the show. Adam,
once again, so nice to be back. Nice to hear your voices and see your faces.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're very, very happy to have you back on. How does it feel being the champ?
You know what? I mean, like every day I go home to Abe's, it feels kind of like I'm already out kicking my distance, or what are they punching above my? No, I like
punching above your weight class.
I've kind of created an amazing life that is probably far better than I deserve, but I'm surrounded by friends and family, trying to do things that fit into my lifestyle and just live a life that like I could be, proud of for my daughters who are following behind, and just lead with kindness. And there's so many things, man. Like it's really cool. I said a long time ago that Road Rules itself was kind of like a third person unbiased perspective, right? Like whether it happened or not, just to have these moments captured at different times, to sit on the couch with the girls, like to win a championship, but like for them to be really excited about it and to have
how fitting. I mean,
I think you could see like that there's still goal, but like I don't know, who do you really
fitting
want
though
to,
that when the final aired, you were kicking it Road Rules style back in the RV.
I know. Maybe I should show you guys the actual proposal. Nobody else has seen it. I could like show you on my phone, but I was wearing like my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and so thank you, tech. But like when we got I didn't even know about it 10 days ahead of time, and obviously I knew about it a year ahead of time. So maybe we should save that for later. But it's just like sometimes the universe is a really weird way of connect. Like who would ever propose in an RV, right? Like you're always trying to be like, I'm going to Paris, I'm doing this, and like sometimes the most unsuspecting things could be the most authentic, and like that included the girls that got to see the proposal. Like when does that ever happen as we're rebuilding the family and blending it? So how does it feel to be a champion? It feels absolutely unbelievable, and I couldn't be more grateful. That's the non-ADHD answer.
You win the
How far are we in? Did I just ramble for 16 minutes?
You get engaged. So, I mean, it's awesome. We're going to talk more about that. But how hard was it for you? I know you had your NDA, but you came on with us the week before the season started. You lied to our faces. The whole season, I'm like, come on, Steve and Adam are going to win this. But he was making it sound like he definitely lost. And then you pulled it. It was tight at the end, and that last challenge, the balance beam. But I mean, how tough was it to keep that secret to everybody in your life?
They're impossible. Like even my kids were like, "Dad, I thought you said you won." I was like, we did win. We got to the end. Like, but I guess and I was like, am I white lying to my children? But we'd meet so many people out, and they'd be like, "We're pulling for you," and I'm like, "Thank you so much." Just like, don't be disappointed. Like, know that I'm glad just being back. And I really think that like, while I understand that there's a certain part of the fandom that wants the spoilers, I don't want to be a part of it.
I don't want to be spoiled. I want to know who's on the show, but I don't want to know.
So don't take it personally. You know what I'm saying?
You did a great job. I was so excited for you guys. I was getting worried though. Have you folded any napkins lately?
Dude, oh, Every napkin on our table has like a left fold to it with like I
Come
went to
on, Steve.
hospitality school. You guys know this, like my culinary background, like I've
Yeah.
waited more tables than I've had real jobs. I like I can Steve and I split the table in half and like I was like, don't touch my side, I won't touch your side. But like I was like, there's something wrong. There's something
Hmm.
wrong. And like, oh man, we must have gone back and forth. Like you know what it was? The universe was equalizing the fact that we were a guy team.
Yeah.
They were
You
like
have to.
we had to go up and down that like first hill 3 times. We just had a different route, and it destroyed me. Yeah, I'm still like I feel like my body is going in that many times, even though they're like cheesy eliminations and whatnot. Like for somebody
Elimination
who's
King. You literally took out half the house in eliminations.
wasn't that cool though?
That was awesome because you and we'll talk about this later. I mean, you're a little naive when you get the power, but it doesn't matter because you just dominate on the field when it counts the most, and that's how you should win the show, being the
I
best
mean,
in
I've
the
always
company.
been such a clown being like, I would go into the elimination and
Yeah.
just like kick everybody out and like I would do this and I would do that. And I've been gone for so long and like shut the fuck up, Adam. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, I actually got the opportunity. And it like was the same situation that Sarah Grayson got put in 20 something years ago. It's like it
Just beat
was
everybody.
nuts, right? And it was the
You
best.
and you
It
had a
was
lot
the
of
best.
fun in that last elimination.
But that's like there's one of the fans made me the best thing, Aryan. Thank you so much. And it was Steve and I hugging after every single, there was 9 victories that we had. 9. It's like somebody was like, you guys won every single day. Like whether it was in an elimination or it was a daily or it
Yep.
was the invitational thing or it was something else. And I was like, that's a great way to put it. Like it's just your perspective. Like we were winning, we were knocking off the rust. Our hugs all of a sudden became like instead of just like, oh man, like they became real, like our relationship got repaired. We became like great communicators and
So you
I
guys are
should
good. You
tell this
guys are
guy to
good
start a
now. Yeah,
business.
you guys are good now. And did you think for a second there that he was going to flip the card at the end about saying that you're going
We
to take the
did.
money?
We talked about like how to divide the money so many different times that we would never steal it from each other, but like, hey, would it ever make sense to do something? And after the month and like no sleep and all of the things that you're putting yourself through, you never know whether somebody, especially when they're asked a question about somebody else, like there was room, like I was leaving that hut, like crossing my fingers, crossing my toes, like I was hugging myself. I was just like, please, 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 just don't like let Steve overthink this. Like we said, we'd split the money, we'll split the
Yeah,
money,
Steve's an
right?
overthinker for sure.
Right?
You're an
It's
underthinker. Steve's an overthinker, so you never know what's going to happen there.
yeah. I'm definitely one of those like just take a step forward and beg for forgiveness if I cross the line rather than ask for permission. I've never really had the filter to think before I speak or like I just like getting the momentum moving
Yeah,
forward.
because I was so annoyed when you didn't take out Frank and Sam when you had the chance, because Frank was the snake, and
I
I thought
know.
if anyone was going to get him out of there, it was going to be you.
I mean, we saw him. And then I thought like, and then I'm like, all right, well, I see you, and I realize the game that you're going to have to play. Even if you get to the end, you're still not a threat. And it was
Yep.
thanks to Katie and Veronica for like
Yeah.
drilling that into me because
Sam was an anchor there at the end, but
right,
but
and
but Frank was coming for you.
even in All Stars, and like, but like had she not like Steve. Did you know like Steve went down like they didn't
He got
show his
hurt.
injury or whatever, but like he got one turn on the yoke and then he's like, dude, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I
and
was
you
like,
carried the water all the way.
I was like, just keep your hand on me and we'll rock and roll. Um, and I think I started out the season really slow and sick, like really,
You were
really,
sick.
really sick. For like 20 days in my journal, I was sick. And so like for at least those first 4 eliminations, I was not 100%. And I think we would have gotten tossed out of the house. Like I think they would have put more of our allies against us
Mhm.
earlier to make sure that like a Melissa Nicole went, like that our roommates went home or that Katie and V went home. And like
Yeah, shout out to
finally,
Nicole, our fellow Staten Islander.
That's right.
right? So you guys can understand her. I can understand her because she's Italian, talks with her hands. I don't even fucking listen to what she says.
Oh, it's funny when Joe met her, the same time that he
Same
met
night.
you. He
Yep.
felt like he knew her for decades.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
so cool, very close with Jay. Super, super cool chick. We got to have her on, Nick.
Yeah, I'd love
She
it.
don't
You
answer
guys,
our
you
text
guys need me to get you in
messages.
touch with her. You got her
We have
information.
her
Oh, you
number,
met
but
Jay.
she don't
Yes, they
answer. I'll do
do.
a group chat with you, Adam. Maybe that'll be the way to do it.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. Like she talks to the girls all the time. Like they really respect her for being a firefighter and like everything
Yeah.
that she's doing. So like she just takes the time. And a
Joe, why
lot
don't you, Joe, you should FaceTime Nicole right now. See if she answers. You sure, Adam?
well, that's the
She'll be
problem is
like, "What the
I don't have
hell?"
any I don't have FaceTime. I
Well,
have
Joe could do it. Adam has an
Well,
Android.
yeah, I
He's
know you're
dumb.
stuck.
yeah,
He's
I'm the green screen, right?
green in the group chat. We
He's
be
calling a call.
oh, that's awesome.
She's probably saving some lives in a fire right now.
He's gonna answer.
This is how you book guests, Joe.
Has been forwarded to voice.
Ah.
The person you're trying to reach.
So call Adam back. Adam will say, Adam.
She was gonna be like,
answer Nick and Joe's text messages.
And she's gonna be like, Adam, who the fuck are Nick and Joe?
Fucking ass clown, answer when I call you.
Don't need the
She's
caption
gonna-
for that one.
I can't believe she didn't answer for us.
She's
That
gonna
is
be
so rude.
She's gonna
We
be
both
so
know her,
confused.
but she just never answers when we're like, "Can you come on now?" So
Well, keep me the
Let
phone
us
right
know
next
what
to the computer.
tried-
So now when she calls, let me
We
make sure
tried-
it's none. Sometimes I try
She's
to put it
probably
on
she's
mute.
probably working. You know, she's climbing out of a fire right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably got a siren in her ear or something like that. Burning building.
Well, first we tried Gina Marie, now we're trying Adam. We'll get her on. You know,
Yep.
it'll be a step-by-step process here. But Adam, we mentioned her before.
Yep.
You and Abe's, right? Getting married. First off, when is she coming on the You Know I'm Right podcast? Because we have now had you twice in a couple of months. I believe it's less than 6 months, really. So we
I know.
have to have her on.
I'm just gonna wear a wig and act like I'm her. I feel like I could like deliver
Get the Hooters
many of her
shirt.
answers. I feel like she sits next to me in the bed sometimes or like in the kitchen and like has to listen to all of my answers. We could probably answer.
I'm sure she liked your podcast with us if she watched.
I'm sure she'll be on soon. She's a lot of fun. What do you guys want to talk to her about?
I want to talk to her about you.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, her experiences on
The real
shows
world.
too. Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, this is also an idea, but Nick and I, we have done couples on the episode before,
have.
right? We have.
Couples
So
together.
I think
The
there's a
engagement
little
show.
wiggle
We
room
could
there.
do a new the what is it, the games where you ask all of the
The
questions?
Newlywed
The
Show.
Newlywed
And I
Game,
get
you
in
had it
trouble
right.
for not knowing all the answers and look like a clown.
Well,
I think
that's
you- I
basically
think
what
you-
that's basically what you and Steve had to do in the final.
Right.
The questions.
So my brother's name's Eric. You'd think I could remember his middle name. I came up with some excuse like we were going to put no or none for certain answers. I don't know. Anyways, we were exhausted at that point.
So
I wish they showed like the chat. I wish like because you know how they have to edit it, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do they show the entire thing? Like if somebody wanted to watch me throw up 27 times into a bucket.
Unfiltered, like Big Brother live feed style. They should that.
Right, like I feel like the challenge is missing that behind the scenes thing where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, shitty footage, don't complain. We're not putting this together as an edit, but if you want to watch like each
Right.
team's
Paramount
like-
Plus.
like the full out like everything or whatever.
I would love to see a season airing in real time. I guess they can't edit it together, but then you have the live feeds on the internet. You can watch them in the house all the time, and then you still get the one episode a week where they do the full edit to put everything together.
I know. It would be there's like always there always seems like, you know, that's like the like just like you guys you know I'm right. It's like with me, it's like I'm always a one-upper by accident. I don't mean to. It's like it's a fucking great show. Why do I need to try to improve it at all? So, anyways, you know I'm right, Dean Murray. You know I'm
there you
right.
go. We can cut that and use it in the future. No, I agree. You know, I think there is a live component missing to the show.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that can definitely be looked at in time. But where I was going with this is, so we could have you and back on with Dave's. We could have Dave's on, right? But you two are getting married. So what we need to do is we need to figure out a way for either you and I or the three of us to meet sometime in person, and we'll discuss business as
Oh, the
the show goes
bachelor
on. And
party.
right, and then we'll discuss some business after the show, and maybe just maybe, I'm right. We can set up
South
some
by Southeast.
cameras.
Are we
That's
bringing it
right.
back? Are we gonna do it in Kentucky for a like with the Bourbon Trail? Are we gonna do it like a Savannah, Charleston coastal experience? It's like,
Savannah Sunset.
yeah, like I think that people need to chime in. Like, hopefully, anybody who's
Run a
watching
poll.
this, chime in where you'd go. Are you looking for a retreat? Are you looking for something local? Do we bring do we bring it mobile eventually? Just saying.
That's
Just
not a bad
saying.
idea. That's
I
not a
don't know how
bad
much.
idea at all. The Kentucky bourbon idea sounds really, really great. And again, if you want us there and it's a little bit of a tropical scene, Nick and I, we could certainly be there and record and hang out and have a lot of great fun times.
Got to scope the
Like,
wedding venues. So we're open
yeah,
to any advice.
I was gonna say, Nick, if we had to put in the work, and if we put in the work a
Listen,
little bit, maybe we'll
there's
be
nothing like,
fortunate enough to get an invitation. Who
well,
knows?
Joe, you
That
could tell
seems like that would be.
Adam about how good of a wedding I planned with my wife.
Yeah,
Oh,
say
you had one of the best weddings, legitimately. Chef's kiss. The cocktail hour was excellent.
That's what I'm
Uh,
talking about.
That's what it's
yeah,
all
so
about.
where he had it is in one of basically the more upscale catering halls that's around this area. He had it in Jersey.
Nice.
But the venue itself was beautiful, and all the accommodations were
Uh,
great. And
Adam, is it going to be a big wedding? I mean, Avery's, what's her dream here? Are you going to have all
It's
your
going to be
friends and
her
family,
wedding,
the
right? Like
reality
it's not
stars and stuff?
100%. It's going to be what she wants. And
Yeah,
so I think that intimate is like super important to her.
nice.
And we were talking about something kind of, I don't know, like because we have friends and family in so many different parts, doing something small and intimate, but then like instead of like just doing one reception or whatever, maybe doing like nothing fancy. Like I'll fucking do the meeting room at the Holiday Inn. You know what I mean?
Sure,
It's the people who you pack the room with, but just
exactly.
like maybe taking ourselves to them versus some people who might not be able to come for whatever our event is. And because it really is about, for me, it's about creating a village, and it's like rebuilding this family and blending it together in the most like beautiful sort of way. So I want my daughters to meet like everybody that they can because it benefits everybody.
now, Adam, if you recall, a couple of weeks ago, right, we had the astrology discussion, and I kind of sent you a lengthy text, and it was some things, some other concepts that I wanted to condense in there, right? It's, a couple different forms of astrology, but I figured you would enjoy that. I think you did. Now, my question to you is, as it relates to Aves and your family, right?
Yep.
Based on the discussion that we've had and maybe some of the things that I kind of gave you a little more insight on, right? Do you kind of see those dynamics playing out in your relationship now a little more so than the first time you came on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going through the retrograde, going through like the rebirth and stuff like that is a
That's
huge
right.
part of like the like it's almost how you don't the reason that something didn't happen is because you weren't ready for it, right?
Mhm.
Like things weren't aligned. And so while I just take it all in. I love all spirituality. I feel like whatever your higher power is, like I'm all for it as long as we realize like that we should constantly be seeking that understanding, right? Like just knowing that there's a God that like almost lets you off the hook. Like
Mhm.
I rather know that we're part of some like science experiment for aliens and living in this simulation and we've only got 96 lives left. Like I rather like give me some like no, I'm playing around, but like I do like to like I believe in, I mean, the tides from the moon are enough, right?
Yeah.
So like if those type of things that can like play around with gravity, mood sets, mind, like all of these type of things, like then maybe like planetary alignment is super important. And also, have you seen that new thing where like solar systems are shouldn't be thought of as just like stagnant, like around the sun? It should be thought as like the Great Bang, right? So that everything's coming out. Like if a sun's coming out at you like this, just say you're like in the way of the sun, you need to think that the sun's moving and everything else is kind of like corkscrewing and like everything around it. So we're starting to understand so much more. And isn't it funny how like history like doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes. And so like
Yes.
people are bringing all of this astrology stuff back and like, I don't know, like predicting dates. And I just think that if all, I mean, I know I'm ranting and you have to cut this whole part out, but like if there's those hydraulic tunnels and everything under the pyramids, then like that means that that entire area that was overgrown and built in the Amazon, all the Mayan, all the Aztec, like all of those places that have like that pure, like
The
that's
pyramids.
that had to come before us, right?
They all of those structures, right? When you look at the way that they're built and the mathematics behind them, right?
Yep.
They were all built structurally the same. And how is that possible in different parts of the world? So this opens up
During
more
the Bronze Age.
of a Pandora's box for a lot of other things. But it's like I tell people all the time,
Hey, I know you're right.
astrology and astronomy, right? They're almost spelled with the same letters, similar concepts. And when it comes to astrology in general, if everything is energy, everything works in energy cycles. So
Mhm.
for some people, it's an easier concept to understand. For some people, it's a little more difficult. But you're right with the retrogrades. It was a little difficult last time around because you had Mercury retrograde, which is communication and tech hiccups and some mishaps, and Venus retrograde, which is the planet of money and beauty and the finer things, right? Whenever you have a retrograde, one last thing is you always got to think of the RE word. So reconsider, right, etc. All of those words kind of come into plays in retrograde season. But for you, you're a Capricorn, right? You're very career-oriented person, as we made note of that in the first episode in your appearance. So competing on the challenge, right? Think of the traits of a Capricorn, right? And I told you you're born in the year
Stubborn.
of you're born in the year of the horse, right? So horses are also very, very stubborn. So
Oh, now we
twice
know
as
why
stubborn
Adam wants to
energy.
go to Kentucky for some
That's
horse
right.
racing.
That's right. It's instinctively in his nature. But horses, so the late great Kobe Bryant was a horse, right? So he was also a Virgo, right? So when you look at the traits of both signs, you kind of see those qualities come out in Kobe, right? So as a Cap, and again, you're born in the year of the horse, which of those zodiac traits, maybe outside the stubbornness, do you think gave you the biggest advantage or maybe a disadvantage coming back and doing the challenge for your most recent, appearances and obviously winning your last appearance?
I think I'm kind of a Leo Cap. You know what I mean? Like that golden retriever type of
Yeah.
like that. Like I feel like, but the workhorse of like and just never giving up. Like I compete in triathlons and Ironman at the Clydesdale level. Horse. Like I just like I will.
Listen, horses want to run and race.
I'll outrun you. And my motto is set the pace, control the race. Like I want to be out front. I'll break the wind. I'll like do more work, just like a Steve Prefontaine. I can because at the end of the day, I know that I can tolerate more abuse. I can tolerate more criticism. I can tolerate more disappointment. I can just tolerate more pain than anybody who I've ever met in my entire life. And that is what like that's my secret sauce. Not smarter than you. I'm not more social than you. I'm not a better athlete than you. I don't have a better body than you. Like, but you, I'd never tap, if that makes sense. It's like, it's a flaw, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's why, like, I've gone unconscious, like holding my breath underwater and like the stuff that you're not supposed to allow yourself to do. Like, I've just done so many marathons and Ironman biking across I've like broken my body on purpose so that I had to rely on like the mind part of it. And then I've like gone for so long or done such long adventure races where like you start to lose your mind as well. And then you just get comfortable. I'm not sure if I should be admitting this. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for all the things.
We think you're plenty smart, highly, highly intelligent. I
Well,
mean,
I'm super
you don't
curious.
just take a break from reality TV competition for as long as you did and come back and then have the performances that you did, and then come back and win like you did the most recent. I mean that
Yeah.
takes a lot of not
And
only
the only thing that really was what could have been Adam's downfall, and it was in the previous season before this one, is he's just too nice of a guy. He's a little naive as to what's going on in the house and doesn't know that people are trying to get him.
Yeah, good call.
That's it. As simple as that. So you did mention
Somebody once told me, they said, the good thing about you and the bad thing about you is that you only see the best in people.
it's true.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really bad at watching my six, which is why I appreciate people with like who've gone like who like Avery has street smarts that I will never have, that I will never understand.
Hmm.
Yet I just like if she says something to me, I listen.
Yeah.
And then we have the conversation afterwards, just because I've been scammed so many times and
Hmm.
taken advantage of or manipulated. Like, I'm not complaining. I will never ever like take those things and reword my narrative insofar as like I'm a victim. I rather see like I'm gonna keep on existing with the rainbows and unicorns and shit like that.
Yeah. And you know, when it comes to Avery, Joe, you know what the saying is, right?
That's right. What is this saying, Nick? Is a happily married person.
Happy wife,
Happy
happy
life.
life.
You know, okay, I got clowned on some other podcasts for thinking that it was like creative for me to say everything. And to
Oh, I
all you
like that.
Use your Avery
to all,
thing. I like that.
I like that a lot. Wow, that's
okay,
good.
so I asked her a long time ago, I was like, has anybody ever called you this? Because like I was worried that it was too corny. And it was gosh, who was it? I think it was Mixie. Anyways, one of the other podcast hosts, and I love all the podcasts. I really enjoy like the community, but like I was like, no, like I came up with that. I want all the credit. She says that nobody's ever called her that before. So
Well,
if
Adam,
she
I
says
think
I'm
I think now
original,
at the wedding you gotta get the pipes ready and you gotta sing, "You're my first, you're my last, my everything."
Everything. Adam's like, yep, that's
I was gonna
it.
take a note of that one.
Now we're
that one you get
invited.
credit for in the titles, in the credits. You get credit for that one.
Perfect, perfect. So I do want to touch on this because you were very ill this season. Like half the
Yeah.
season you were sick, and then you also have to endure the finale. So what was kind of the recovery method in season, and then also after the show? And also, do you think that recovery method kind of aligned with what your zodiac horoscope would recommend for self-care?
I don't know. Joe, can you help me out with that one,
Joe,
buddy?
I don't know the answer.
Because when it comes to self-care, I like I've I had to adopt like a phrase, self-care is not selfish, because then like as long as I think about like I can't help others until my glass is full, like I feel like I understand that. However, like I never go to the doctor. I'm not really good at taking care of myself, if that makes sense. Daisy needs to go outside. Give me 1 second.
No problem. So
Live
obviously, Joe,
TV.
I threw him off here with this horoscope question,
No, it did.
which is really I don't even know what I'm talking about when I asked that question. But
I could tell.
how did
I
you
could
get
Excellent
tell, but it was
question.
like perfect. It
how'd
was
you
like you
get
kind of
how,
set Joe up. You knew
yeah,
that
but
Joe
how'd you
could have
get
taken
better?
the reins.
How'd you recover during the season? You asked everybody not to throw you in the elimination, and they didn't care. You still won. Then also, like I'm thinking, you know, after the final, it's so exhausting. Most people probably relax, and you probably came home and got in the mountain bike and went for a ride or something to recover.
I recovered, like I took like a little bit of time, and then we went on a family trip.
Okay.
So we recovered, like that's kind of how I just got. It was weird having technology again, so
Yeah.
I didn't just because it was like as soon as I picked up my phone, I realized like it was consuming me.
Hmm.
Um,
How long were you
really
gone? About 6 weeks?
5 weeks. Yeah,
5 weeks.
I feel like less than a month. It was amazing. I think I came back. I think I left on the 25th of May and came back on the 20th of, or 21st of June.
25th
That's
of May
why
is a
All
good day.
Stars is amazing. Can you like that is what somebody might be able to do. A month off of work is it's still so tough. I'm so fortunate to like work from home and just like yeah, it's amazing. Um, but I took a lot of Advil, a lot of Excedrin. Steve did lots of tape. I got some bronchial infection. I think that we got it like just flying
Yeah.
east, and so
I'm
Turbo
glad
had
they
it.
didn't like medically disqualify you because that would have been rough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was. I think what they figured out because like I went on the antibiotics right away, and other people had gotten sick before me, and
Yeah.
nobody else. So like I kind of got it as an effect of them. I Most people were just getting sent home, so they really didn't have there wasn't a reason for their sickness. But then the round of antibiotics didn't work, all the other stuff didn't work, and so I had to go on like some serious steroids. They were
Mm.
doing like acupuncture and all sorts of Chinese medicine, like or Vietnamese there was like the Western meets Eastern medicine techniques. It was so much fun to be there. You saw the house. I feel like that's an Airbnb. I'll send you guys the link. You should post it for your fans.
All
Yeah,
right.
they would absolutely love to hear that. Yeah, no, so my thing that I was going to chime in is that when it comes to Eastern Western
Yep.
astrologists, right? So the Eastern culture is definitely more into natural remedies and holistic types of ways to treat the mind and the body, as opposed to the Western side of things, which I'm not going to get into because a little controversial, right? With the way we look at that kind of stuff here in this country, especially.
Now that
Uh,
that goes right into the functional beverage that we're talking about in wellness. So like feel free to take it
right,
there later, but after a life after a career in the wine and spirits industry and introducing like lots of poison into our body and
right.
like the type of food that we eat, it's so important that we like do study like that Eastern philosophy, that holistic approach. I feel like right yin and yang like balance them out because like one is almost preventative, the other is like what's the preventative versus react whatever the one's the band-aid, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then, like I said, Western astrology, they all rule different parts of the body, right? So Aries is the head, Pisces is the feet. So when it comes to Capricorns, right, the bones, the joints, the skin, right, kind of like the structural portions of like that's what Capricorn kind of rules over, right? So if you ever feel like you've had like joint issues with the knees and stuff, and we got a dog in the house.
This is you're interviewing Daisy from Real World Portland.
What's up, Daisy?
Wow, the same dog. How about that? It's
I
still
know
kicking
she's
around.
14. She turns 14 in May 8th.
Another real
Hey,
world alum joining us on the
I
show.
know.
excellent.
She's a good girl. Anyways, I just wanted to be a
Very
nerd.
good, very good. My cousin used to have a dog, Daisy. Fortunately, they had to put her down a couple of years ago. So, Daisy, very, very popular name. Uh, let's talk about some ridiculous superstitions, right, that you may have developed during filming. Everybody
Right.
has at
Same
least one.
socks with every competition. I'm sure Adam
Same
had
on.
something.
Did you win with the certain underwear
Same
on? And
headband.
I always had a picture of like the girls in my pocket for every elimination in like this little waterproof
uh,
container. I started writing their names. I'd write Abe's across my like four, and then Hunter and Harlow right here. Uh, we had a handshake. Like Steve and I, you could see every once in a while, like we're just bumping back and forth. We'd always like do boom, 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 and then like we just come up with something stupid, like for the water one where we're with the hoses, we're like doing something. I don't know, like ever like blowing bubbles for what we always just like had fun with the handshakes to get us in the right mind. Take it
absolutely.
seriously, like smash, but also like
Yeah.
be fun.
Now, I like the picture in the pockets. Obviously, that provided you whatever little extra oomph and
I
energy
was
that
just
you
trying to get you to
needed.
go live on a podcast with me. But if you need to work and eat, that's okay too.
Wait,
Selfish.
That's
did
the
she
call.
respond?
Yeah.
Wait,
Just
did
say,
His
she
work.
my
texted you
love, I'm at
back?
work. We just got to run and now we're grabbing food. I'll call you after,
All
promise.
right, all right, all right,
He's
all
a
right.
great friend.
Good, good. Now we'll have Nicole on.
I just
Great.
would never date her.
I don't think she did you either.
I don't know if you're
Not her type.
a type.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about Nicole makes me a great friend.
No, she's like I said, she's a really, really cool person, down to earth.
Yeah.
It was actually again one last time. It was Jay who had came on the show with us a few weeks or months prior. I think it was a couple of weeks prior, and then
No, it was like a
he's
day before, 2 days
was it the day
before.
before? I thought it was like a week before.
Before the launch? Like before that party we met?
Yeah, before season
Yeah.
5 launch. We had Jay
Okay.
on like a few days before, and
Oh,
then
that's so cool.
he invited us to it. Joe was able to go.
Okay.
It's you, Nicole, Trishelle. Joe, you gotta get Trishelle on here. You've met her. You got her contact information. She
I do
wins
have
traders.
a
She hasn't been on the show yet. I don't know why you're slacking over there.
I got a couple of contacts from that night, so yeah, I got to look into
Just
that a
go
little
on one of
bit.
those cruises and you can like get
All right,
everybody.
Adam, listen to this.
Adam, no.
The cruise company reached out to us.
Go,
They
Mike. Showroom.
showroom. They
Yep.
reached
Go
out
ahead.
and
Yep.
they said, "Hey, we love the show.
Yep.
Would love to have you come on.
Yep.
We'll give you a media pass.
Yep.
All you got to do is book the cruise."
Hey, Aves and I are about to book we're about to pay for ourselves to go. He just gives us the cost. We're paying. We might show up at some of the events for free. We do a lot of look, all of the appearances and stuff like that. Like I lost money coming to New York. It's like
Wow.
as long as it's not irresponsible to the family, like as
Yeah, I
long
mean, it was going to be rough for us to do it because number one, he's gonna be putting us to work. And number two, we're going to pay like $4,000 each, plus airfare. If it was
yeah.
if it was leaving by us, I would consider it. But the big cruise is coming up. I saw that West and everybody's promoting. I'm sure they're not
Yep.
paying
That
too
one's in
much.
January, and then there's another one in November. So there's a few that are coming up.
Which one are you going on?
Maybe both.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll have to see. I mean, there's like some ridiculous flights to like the Azores and like Iceland, Thailand. I saw something like for 8 days for like $500. So at this point, I don't know, with everything going on under those pyramids, I kind of want to get out there too. Maybe we'll just start a world tour. No, I'm just kidding. I wish I could travel all these places, but the girls got school. I think a cruise would be fun. Maybe we'll do the one in January. I
cruises
think it's
are
the
black.
5th to the 8th and then November. It'll all depend on the holidays.
Yeah, I know it's a very, very difficult schedule to try to
I'm
balance. So
completely kidding.
between the home life, between the
It's
cruises,
technically
between
fall.
a Kentucky bourbon, right? Is there anything else that's coming up on the dock for you? You know, like what's next for you? Because
Yeah, you gotta be an All-Star 6. You
yeah, I
training?
know when we did this
Are you
last
gonna go out
time,
on top? I would go out on top. I'd win and walk away.
I wouldn't go back
Not
on.
my
You're
style.
a
I've got it,
champion.
I've got to
Gonna
lose.
defend
Listen,
the crown.
I got to
you're
lose to Derek K in the first round of the next thing. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no,
Like
no. You
they're
are
gonna put
you're John Elway. You went out on top. You know, maybe not
He
back
might
to
go.
back,
Maybe
but
he's
I
going
went
back to.
out
He's
on
going
top
back
on
to
the
back.
gauntlet. They brought me back for the gauntlet too. First one out. So
Mm.
I don't want to jinx myself. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
gonna. Well, you were a big target, and you'll definitely be a big target the next
I think
season.
it's I would love something couples, ride or dies type of thing. I'd love to see if I can get Aves to a final to see if we
Yeah.
can
Give me
get her a
some names you'd
championship.
like to see on the show who we haven't seen on seasons in a long time, like Coral. People are
Yeah, that
saying
would
would
be
be great,
awesome.
people like that. But give me some old school names from your early days on the show.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people who would say yes. And so I would just start
How
with the
about
people
yes? Yes would say yes.
But like I would like to see the older the better because
Definitely.
they're not going to be I don't want to say they're not going to be around long, but they're not going to be able to really enjoy it. So like your John Brennan's like
Oh yeah,
I know
cowboy.
he's down for a run at it. I wish that you could see like Jamie Murray, Colin from like Hawaii. I'd love to see Tech again. Like Dave Burns from Boston, from Seattle, but he's from Boston. A lot. I mean, maybe the entire Battle of the Seasons. Like just get a couple people back from every season just so that they can all kind of like everybody can
Yeah,
share
Battle of the
stories from
Seasons. Let's get Puck in
yeah.
there, the original New York gang.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I know a lot of people are too expensive, so just like don't invite them. Like some people are so expensive that like then there's no reason that other people would even go because it
Yeah.
just doesn't feel
So I
it
I
doesn't
think
feel good.
they should definitely do either Battle of the Seasons or maybe like couples or something. You and Avery together,
However,
stuff
we could
like that.
justify ourselves getting there. I I think that they have a very short window left where, especially with Mark and all of our like loyalty to Mark, there's a very short window left for OGs. Like,
Mm. Well,
so
Mark's 50, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So for your real world versus road rules, old school challenges, I think you should do them now
Now
before,
or never.
yeah, and still bring, I mean, I guess that like they could still bring the other CBS people on, like
Not
as
for All
all stars or
Stars.
something like that.
That was, I
Um,
mean, I know you had a nice relationship with her, but like Devon didn't really fit the mold to me of an OG. She wasn't even
Well,
on the
it's
real world
weird
or the
because you can
road
like
worlds.
them, but they don't show up the same way that you do because they're there to play a game. They're not there for the experience. So you've got somebody like Sam who's like in the pool all day long, like hanging out, like getting like being
Yeah,
available for everybody, right? And then you have other people who are like in their bed doing Sudoku puzzles, taking naps, like taking care of their
yeah.
body. Like there's two different mindsets that you can have when you're there, and you really don't know how long you're going to be there for. So I
Right.
feel like
And let's
you
give
should
some
take
credit
advantage.
to Veronica, who was really manipulated. She was great. She was the mastermind of a lot of this, getting things done. The way she went to work that day when everyone thought she was going to be on the block. I mean, it's a shame they couldn't sneak into the final because they definitely deserved it. You two, you guys played together, but you played very
Yep.
opposite games. She was all the mental networking. You and Steve were like, let's be physical dominant here. So,
I would say we played it. I would say we played more connected than you can possibly imagine. Like we were her muscle, if you want to think
oh,
about it that.
definitely, definitely. But I'm just, she was the whole house she had under her control.
Oh
Where
yeah, she was.
you and Steve, Frank was, dicey there. Everyone's trying to throw you guys in, but it all worked out. You won. But
Right.
Veronica, every season, she always brings it from
I never played against Veronica ever
you
since Battle of the
shouldn't. You
Seasons.
shouldn't.
She was on Viewer's Revenge with me. She was on the Gauntlet. I will like she's just too nice of a
She's a
person,
loyal friend to you.
and she's real. Yeah, and
And I
like
heard that she's the reason why Snooki is who she is.
yeah, exactly. Had it not been for her, kind of like I think Snooki would have walked. But it's funny, like a lot of us, not myself, I can't include myself in this, but like kind of wanted to get into the production side after doing our shows and like
Yeah,
really, whether it was just learning about it, whether it was maybe creating like our own show ideas. It's really interesting to see like how many people also like want to create this experience, want to help create, make this experience better.
absolutely. So
I love it.
for you during the show, this season when you won, what would you say was your I'm right moment on this season? So that's where you wanted to do something, maybe asking people for advice like Steve or Veronica, they're like, terrible idea, don't do that. It's not going to work out for you. Like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right about this. It's going to help me win.
The final, like we're all sitting there, we're all seeing those balance things or whatever, and I knew what the idea was. I was like, Steve, I know I'm right on this. Listen to me. Give me 15 seconds. We're gonna load up. The bags don't even fucking matter. We can shift our body weight, lock arms. It was the one thing that nobody else did. Everybody like kind of like, and we destroyed that thing,
Mhm.
and it was so hard. I think the reason they made it look close, and I love the editing, was because every team had to call for so many checks that they were able to somehow figure it out. Like one of the times that we were doing that, but I thought we were the clear winners in the final, like clear
Okay,
winner.
good to know.
I when we got down, we never knew the points the entire time, so we really didn't know whether we were able to. We were like first, second. Like we were trying to like at night. Shane and I were like go like comparing notes without like just like we're like okay, well that one crosses that one out. That one crosses that one out. This one crosses this one out, and then we're like all keeping track of it. It was like. I mean, but isn't that what you want in a final? Like, you don't want to blow out in the Super Bowl. You just want
Right.
like the
That's
highest
why
scoring Super
season
Bowl.
40 of the Challengers final was terrible. It was a total blowout.
Well, weren't there, I don't. We weren't there to get to watch it. So sorry. Yeah, I think we eventually watched it. It was like, yeah,
It was
I
filming.
was like, we were in Vietnam. No, but we let. It was funny. Avery and I passed like in the airport, or like it would have been a week, and we would have passed in the airport. It was just boom, boom,
Wow,
boom.
so you must have not seen Avery for a long time when you with the back-to-back filmings.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like really sad and emotional being away from the family and having them really kept me in the game and having Avery constantly be like, do not trust that person. Get your like you can't tell her too many things, but like she was just like like I said, just got a street smarts and
Yeah.
this woman's intuition that is so thank God because I don't have it. She'd be a great partner. And we're really good at communicating. and she puts up with the Adam train, right? Like, because I fucking just like
The runaway
it's going
train.
out of the station, whether you're on it or not. Like, I'm going, and she's like, all right, all right, all right. Like,
The yin and the
laugh
yang.
along. She makes sure the kids are actually on board, that I didn't forget my keys and my phone. Like, she's the she has the perfect sense of humor for me.
Well, I have to ask now because there were a string of recent Big Brother guests and friends and former guests of Nick and I, and they just did the Amazing Race. Now, I know the logistics of that with the kids seems very, very difficult because you would then both have to be away from them, but I think you and Aves would be a really excellent fit, and I think you would be a threat to go on the Amazing Race and
Yeah.
win the whole show together.
It's the
Um,
only show that I've ever wished I was a part of. And I think that there's
Big
all
fan.
right, so we're gonna push for that now.
well, I just think that I it, like you want to do something where like you're passionate about it. You don't want to do something just because you go on TV. You like, and I couldn't imagine anything being more aligned with like my desire to get out there and see the world. I know that you're doing it on somebody else's agenda and like you don't get to do what you want to do, but that's what the challenges are. Like when we go to some of these places, we really don't get to see them all that
Yeah.
much. And
You get to
so,
go to a bar and see places on a bus.
yeah, so like I mean, I'm just saying if there was an Amazing Race travel company, like
Yeah.
sign me up. Like I'll even pay for that experience. That's how much I believe in that show. And I've believed in that show since like the first winner. Like I think it's we were friends back in Los Angeles. I think his name was Brennan. But like I think then like Blake from I think Brennan and Blake won. But like he went on to do Tom's Shoes. Like the Amazing Race had
I
like an
think Amazing Race
interesting.
had to be inspired by Road Rules.
I hope so. That's
What
why I like it
30-year
so.
anniversary, Adam, of Road Rules this year?
Yep,
Is
we're
Mark gonna bring it back one more season?
if he doesn't, I should take my phone off of blur for a second. But like even if he doesn't, I think it's time that
And Adam's gonna show us the RV. Oh, we're outside now, Joe.
yeah.
There
It's
it
nice
is.
outside.
He's
There
got
it
the Road
is.
Rules RV.
I love
So
that.
we've got the RV and then we've got the old horns from like my RV. I think that it's time to put both of them together and take off on a little like adventure in July and show the kids like what road rules should be like, at least in the US. And kind
Oh
of
yeah.
it's a really cool way for me to be like, instead of just being like, oh yeah, dad did some really cool shit, like
Show 'em.
what better way to do it and teach them the importance of like getting out there and opening up their eyes than to
Yeah.
create a similar adventure. And so we're thinking about, catching six different sunsets at like six national parks. I think the
Nice.
girls and I are
Big
doing
summer
basically
tour.
like using ChatGPT to do a choose your own adventure type of story so that like they both come up with ideas. So there's like always two, and then obviously Avery and I, so, the girls, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but Avery and I are gonna like we are in charge here. We're like somebody's got to sail the ship. No, I'm gonna blame,
Right.
but you want to empower your kids to make like great decisions, and you guys would appreciate this. Like, you ever like see that new like studies about giving your kids an allowance is bad?
No.
You're supposed to like teach them to build businesses, not just like the lemonade stand type of thing,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
like the girls and I are like looking at stock charts and stuff like this all the time. Like I'm trying to teach them like they literally color the charts green to try to get you to buy, and like all
Mm,
other things in this
true.
world like we buy when they're on discounts and like we wait till Black Fridays. Like investing, somehow we've all been fooled, and 95% of people lose all this money we work so hard to like. I think money is an IOU for the time that we sacrifice to somebody else for the future, right?
True.
But if this money that we're saving isn't worth shit, then like that's a really messed up type of thing. We gotta figure out how to take care of our society so that like either they live more intentionally during those other years, or I don't know, one in two people are gonna have to deal with Alzheimer's and dementia. That's not a statistic that I'm looking forward to. That's like going
Well,
into elimination. It's a fucking coin flip.
that's true. It's 50-50. No, I mean, listen, there are different styles out there. I didn't really grow up too much with an allowance per se. But I will say is that you can't make money without spending money, right? And that's again, it's kind of applies with the how the law of attraction works, right? You don't necessarily attract what you want, you attract what you are, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
only way that money is going to come to you is if you are a regularly giving person. And, it doesn't have to be obscene amounts of money, right? There are times where you see a homeless person in the street and they want $1, and you're like, do I really give this person $1? It's like, is this person going to use it on drugs, right? So,
Yeah.
like I said, the only way is, if you are the essence of what you are, and if you believe that what you put out there and whatever you do spend comes back to you, then in that instance, sure it will.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, allowances build great routines and habits. That is completely, we just don't want to be in the habit of becoming like working for like only money because it messes up your mindset because then you get that hoarding mentality where like, oh, I don't have enough, right? And that's exactly where like now you're operating out of scarcity instead of operating out of like that power of attracting like with like.
So, Adam, one last question, and then we'll let you go. We know you're very,
I
very
don't know
busy. You
what
got
my
a lot
South
of
Node
commitments.
is, Joe. I don't. No, I'm just playing.
I have your chart somewhere.
I
I can feel
know.
free to text you that. So, you guys are thinking about doing a trip, right?
Yeah.
Is there any one particular location with you and Aves and the kids where you're like, this is somewhere we absolutely have to be, whether it's this year or next year?
Staten Island, New
Is the
York.
one
It's a place to be.
besides Staten Island, New York?
I'd love to get out to Arizona to see
Grand
Avery's
Canyon.
family, get up to Michigan. I
Oh,
definitely
I
want to
love
take the.
Michigan.
That's
I
where
love
Adam's
Mich.
from, Michigan.
I know. I loved it.
I feel like Michigan would be smart for the summer trip, and
Definitely
then
not the
take
winter.
and
No,
then take the
no, no.
northern trail across, hit like Wyoming and Yellowstone, like go to Yellowstone, see like a lot of those type of things, and work our way down into California. Um,
That's a lot of time.
well, if
But
we take a month and we just do like 250 days of driving max on the RV, do like I feel like I want to plan a few. We're working on a functional beverage right now, Isaac and I, from one of the past real worlds. I just met this guy, and his dream was so in line as my own, and that was getting something off the ground where it's THC based, but it's all based on like mood enhancement using the different like terpenes and variants of like THC, not just your THC and CBD, but to give you a natural, like you have the cannabinoid receptors, an alternative for like booze, Adderall, Ambien, a lot of the different, like I went on, well, the divorce was really tough on me. I went on anxiety medication. I went on a depression medication. I was already taking like Adderall and Ritalin my whole life. I had eye tics and like appetite suppression and jaw clenching. I was grinding my fucking teeth down to shit. And I was like, I know that there's like such a stigma on marijuana, but how do we like take so now they've gotten into like the cold pressing of things if you think about it, like the extraction of these natural substitutes that the natives and indigenous figured out so many years ago, probably dropped off by the aliens, right? And we're just like we want to just make the best moments matter. Like that's kind of our thing. Like be the best version of yourselves for those moments that matter. So like if you want to be creative if or but like just so that it's I mean an energy it's not all energy though, right? Like we take an energy drink, but like if we could take a little bit of lion's mane, some magnesium and THC, like a certain kind of THC, then wouldn't that like wouldn't that go through our body so much cleaner and better? And
yep.
I think that taking that approach to the rest of the things in my life for what I want to get involved in like a career, like building a wellness resort, trying to like coach people towards that yin and yang of like balancing east, west, new, old. Uh, just gonna keep on playing around and try to reverse engineer my retirement. You guys are welcome to join.
I was gonna say, I absolutely love that idea. You're speaking my language. I mean, this is something that we can talk about in time. And one last time, Adam, we absolutely have to figure out a way to meet in person.
Yeah, guys.
You come here, like I said, Nick mentioned, whenever you're in New York, please let us know
Well,
before.
maybe
But
Joe, you and Adam will cross paths in California this summer. Like he's
Yeah,
coming
I think
down
July
and you're going
29th is when,
across.
yeah, they're trying to have like an event in July, so we'll make sure it happens. I'll share everything with you. And obviously whatever the route is, maybe wondering if we could swing by New York. That like we want to.
right,
You
Want to
don't want to
go
be in
swing
New
by.
York's the worst place to be.
Well, they've got a beverage conference
Oh.
June or July, June 11th or 12th. So we might be out there anyways.
okay. Well, you let us know before. Obviously, there are a couple of other events on the docket that throughout the year that we've discussed. So,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is, we absolutely have to get together in person sometime soon. And Adam, this was really great again. Nick and I, we always wish you the best
I
moving
feel like we
forward.
need
But
to
the
put
same,
a weekly call on Joe. Seriously, like let's just have a mastermind session. Like whether you make it or not, I won't be offended. I just love talking to you too. And if anybody
Appreciate it.
else out there
well, when you
resonates with
listen,
us, like hit me up.
when it comes to
Yeah.
supplements, I take magnesium every day. I take zinc. I take vitamin B. There are a couple of things and I say this with my father because I think my father is a very heavily overly medicated person.
Yeah.
I wish he was doing this stuff 10, 15 years ago because, I think he would have aged a little more gracefully than he is now. Unfortunately, he's in his early 70s and, kind of has got some mileage on the tires. But once again, this is something that we could maybe schedule a weekly call. Be really, really nice. But Adam, we appreciate your time. You did this once before, not that long ago, so you know how this works. We always give our guests the last word. So we got to cram a lot there in those final 15 minutes. That some things that were outside the challenge. But if there's anything else we'd like to share, by all means, go ahead and let's get together soon. And we wish
Yep.
you, Aves, and the kids the best.
Hey, you know I'm right when whatever Abe says is right. Happy wife, happy life. Thanks for having me, guys. At Adam Larson, if you guys want to keep in touch. And you know that I'll be on here anytime. You guys just want to chew the fat and chat. But let's set up a themed dinner where we do these 6 different mood enhancing things, and we'll kind
Right.
of take like a guided, maybe do like high noon to full moon type of experience. Like it will
That's
be
right.
really cool. And we'll do it with like maybe we'll give everybody their chart or something like we'll make it a murder
Abs-
mystery or an
yes!
astrological murder mystery type of thing.
Absolutely, I agree. And listen, the new moon was just 48 hours ago, so this is the time where you get these ideas off the ground. Nick is like, "What are you talking about?"
I think we just had a blue moon, right?
We did. Right.
Well, I can't wait to catch up with you guys again. Thanks so much.
Well, Adam, this has been a lot of fun. We appreciate it. We'll be looking forward to speaking with you again soon when you come on to talk about the next season of the challenge you're on. And this has been another amazing episode. Congratulations to the challenge champ and the man who is recently engaged, Adam Larson. Thank you for your time. That's going to do it for this episode of You Know I'm Right. For our very special guest, the champ, Adam Larson, my co-host, Joe Calabrese. I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.